There were a couple of messages on the video I posted the other day about playing tug with your dog that I think are concerning, and I want to address them. And that is, people have been told by so-called dog experts that playing tug with your dog will make them aggressive. Now, that is a ridiculous statement, because a dog that is not aggressive is not going to get aggressive by playing tug with them. The confusion often lies in that a dog may miss the bite if they're not trained properly how to target the tug or the ball, and that will lead to a bite. Now, bites aren't always aggressive. If the dog is aiming for something and you put your hand in the way the dog bites you, that's not an aggressive bite. That is just a missed target where he's trying to hit the tug. That being said, you have to train your dog to play tug. You have to outline certain rules, certain boundaries, a certain style of play, and you have to engage with the dog in a way that the dog understands. For me, tug is the most fun game to play with my dog. It brings out a level of engagement that I'm not going to get from throwing a ball and the dog bringing the ball back, because tug, it's like it's a personal struggle, a personal dance that we do with the dog. So the struggle is, I let him win, and then I win, then I let him win. Sometimes I let the tug go when he's pulling so he wins more. Sometimes I'm holding the tug and I ask the dog to out while I'm holding it. So that teaches the dog an immense amount of respect and control in the game. Tug is hands down one of the best games you can play with your dog. Now, I want to add a small caveat to this, because a lot of people are saying that gun dogs shouldn't play tug. That is probably pretty accurate. If you're training a dog to bring a bird back with a soft mouth, to have a soft mouth on a specific object, such as a bird in hunting, I probably wouldn't recommend you play tug with that dog, because you'll have a very difficult, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'll have a difficult time teaching the dog to differentiate how they should hold certain things. It can totally be done. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it will take a lot more training, and it can be confusing to the dog. If you're going to do bird dog games and training with your dog, maybe find another game to play with them that might not be tug. But with any other dog, and even with a Labrador that you're not going to do bird dog stuff with, play tug with them. It will enhance your relationship. It will form a level of communication and bonding with your dog that is second to none. But as I said, the dog has to understand the boundaries and the structure to the game, must understand the game, and you have to let the dog win certain times, and you have to let the dog, or I should say, the dog should be able to let you win other times when you decide. It's totally up to you. Always you winning. I see people play tug like that. They're always dragging the dog around. It's not a fun game for the dog. It's a lot more fun for the dog when you're acting like the dog is pulling you, and you'll see that in my tug videos. Especially when I'm training the dog, all through the adolescent phase of the dog, I'm going to let that dog win, pull me, and then I'll pull the dog, and I'll always differentiate between when I out the dog. Sometimes I out the dog when they're pulling me. Sometimes I out the dog when I'm pulling them. Sometimes I out the dog when they're just holding on to the tug. Sometimes I'll out them before they even get to the tug when I throw it. So there's a lot to learn in the game of tug, but hands down, one of the best games you'll ever play with your dog.